Every family's different.
What is up, you all? We're back, and today we're going to be talking about the Conjuring Last Rites and what we've seen in the trailer. Before we get into it, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So getting into the Conjuring Last Rites, this is the final entry of the Conjuring franchise, and they will be taking on the case of the Smurl family. Now, this case right here I'm very familiar with, and everything, you know, that happened. Everything kicks up really with the Smurl case in 1973, and these huntings been going on from the 70s all the way to the mid 80s. Now, we see in a trailer, we see parts where Patrick Wilson is walking through like press and the news reporters and everything, actually showing like dang near the same vision and street of the Smurl family house, aka the Devil in Pennsylvania. We see a lot of things that are beat for beat, but we also see things that are over exaggerated. Pushing forward, we see this scene where the Smurl family is sitting at a table and a chandelier drops on the table. Now, this is actually an event that happened really in the story. They even show it in the older film that was based off the Smurl family, The Haunted. So this is one of those infamous situations that everybody knows about if you have knowledge on this case. A lot of people, you know, say things about the Warrens, how previously their cases were fake, how the case in Conjuring 2 was fake and everything. People, you know, say they don't believe nothing that the Warrens say. Now, with me, with the Smurl family case, it wasn't even just about the Warrens. It was just about the whole story with the demons, Jack and Janet Smurl, and things like that. And then they eventually came and got invested in it as in paranormal investigators. I think with this one right here, yeah, we're going to have things that are dramatically, you know, brought to us, being that like how the demons look. Starting off with how the demons look. A lot of people are complaining about this demon that pops up and saying it looks CGI and things like that. Yeah, it does look CGI, but what I want to say is, from what I'm hearing about the story with the Smurl family, the demons came off as like a dark presence. They didn't really come off as like that exorcist Reagan McNeil look with the sharp teeth and the, you know, the weird face. It was just more of like black shadows going through walls. We heard mimics of the children voice through the house calling for their parents. They go in a room. The children's probably somewhere else in the other room, and they're like, okay, what the hell is going on? So it was a lot of things about, you know, things being moved. They were like, okay, I remember this was sitting right here the whole time and went upstairs and it moved back. Like they were getting tricks played on them. And this all took place in a duplex house. And another saying, just a two-family house. So we had Jack and Janet Smurl stand on one side, then we had the grandparents stand on the other side, which the ghosts were actually, you know, bothering them also. We have a couple of girls involved. We have like two twin daughters, and I think we have like a middle-aged child and an older, but I can be wrong. I just know it's a lot of daughters involved. But we see this shot of this little girl, and her doll sits up and it starts to levitate, which, if you look into the Smurl family story, yes, it's actually a situation that happened like that, where a doll was moving, that the kids said they saw a doll moving or a toy moving, and that's what they're trying to show through this film, that, okay, we have knowledge on this story about the toys moving, the chandelier scene, and then we see Jack Smurl actually being levitated to the ceiling, which actually happened. From what he said in real life, where he was basically sleeping in bed. Next thing you know, he opened his eyes and he's levitating in mid-air. We also hear, you know, a scenario about him being essayed in his sleep and you know, essayed downstairs in one of his chairs, and it came to the presence of him as his daughter in a dress. It's a lot of things that goes on in the Smurl family case, but the thing that makes it so famous and so infamous is the Warrens taking it on and putting, you know, Frontline out and you know, entertainment. And a lot of things happen with the demons, and you know, the Smurl family saying there was so many demons in this house that they were convinced that the house was just haunted itself. It was like the heart for the demons. It was so many things they were seeing. We heard things about this haunted mirror that was upstairs. They had things going on with this mirror that they found in the attic, I want to say. I could be wrong on it, but it was a mirror they found in the attic. They were seeing things in the mirror, you know, and they started to think like, okay, maybe it's the mirror that's holding being the host for the demons. Maybe it's the house. They just really didn't know what was going on really with the Smurl family and everything. But pushing forward, we see a lot through this. We see Judy Warren being the Warren's daughter, the girl that we seen from previous Conjuring movies when she was younger, and in Annabelle movies. I think she was in Annabelle Comes Home, and she's older now, and we see a scene that actually creeped me out where they're like out to dinner. We see a hand come over her shoulder, so it's seeming to be that it's not even just going to be about the Smurl family, which I was hoping it would be, but it's more about Lorraine Warren. Also, she's like going to be the main person we see, you know, her daughter being involved. And one thing that I heard months ago basically was about a scene where Annabelle is going to grow 3 feet. Now we see this scene that's taking place in like a mirror maze where we see Judy Warren have this nice white dress on. She looks through the mirrors and she sees a person at the end that's tall. At first I didn't know who it was, but I actually think that is the scene where we're going to see Annabelle grow 3 feet, because we could tell by the gold hair, the white dress. I think that's going to be Annabelle at the end of that row of the mirrors, and she's going to be growing, and it's a perfect way to do that scene, because when you're in mirror mazes, sometimes it changes the shape of your body, your height, depends on the angle you're looking at with the mirror. So that scene is going to be very, very, very intense. But for the most part, it seems like they're trying to just highlight the main things with the Smurl family, being like the chandelier scene, the toy scene with the little girl, and just showing a family running to the stairwell. All that is things that we've heard about Jack Smurl levitating, and it was even a scenario where basically Janet Smurl was in a bed and she thought, you know, the husband was being touchy, feely. She looks under the cover, and it's actually, she see like the handprint of another person that's not her husband, basically a demon. So they were getting like essayed in his house and everything, and they did amazing casting. Like the woman looks like Janet Smurl, Jack Smurl looks like Jack Smurl, and then the little girl we see with the pigtails, she's one of the twin sisters, I want to say. She looks just like the little girl. They look similar. So they did a great job in my opinion. We see also it kick off with the Warrens home, kind of going back to the Warrens museum, and he's saying, you know, don't touch anything, not even the toys should be touched. And then we're seeing like the Crooked Man, we're seeing Valak's painting, we're seeing Annabelle in a case, showing that these things are still existing in this universe and it's still a part of their journey in life. Now it kind of was interesting seeing Annabelle pop up through the darkness, because I want to know, are they going to try to incorporate like the highlighted villains in the Conjuring universe, being like Valak, the Crooked Man, just to kind of do like a farewell, like a goodbye, because this is the end for Lorraine and Ed Warren, Patrick Wilson, and Vera Farmiga. Now we see a lot of interesting things being, I noticed a couple flashbacks with Ed Lorraine, like a young Ed Lorraine Warren. I want to say at least once I see something of them, which is very interesting, kind of probably going to show us, you know, their journey and, you know, how they got to where they are. And we also see an interesting funeral that Lorraine Warren is attending, but I was trying to look for Patrick Wilson, but we don't see him sitting anywhere. But then it kind of shows him eventually sitting in the area that looks like it can be the funeral. I don't know if that's the same area because we don't see him. So maybe it's like a different funeral. Maybe that's like a flashback. Maybe that's an illusion with Lorraine Warren. Remember Valak actually showing Lorraine Warren Ed's death and how he will die or whatever. Remember when she pointed at the husband, Ed Warren, and showed how he was going to go out the window and stuff? Maybe it's something like that. But we know that actually Lorraine Warren's going to be the main focus of this. We see a couple flashbacks kind of like, or some type of, you know, trance she's stuck in. We see her drop like this locket in his sink, and it just blood starts running out. I want to say that locket she drops is a baby picture of Judy Warren, but I can be wrong. But it looks like a deep trailer. We see this demon pop out, which I think that they were just trying to show us, like, hey, the Smurl families, you know, they saw demons in their house, because that's the big, you know, highlight of the story, that they saw demons in his house. But they're going to, of course, put a little bit of over-exaggeration on the demons to kind of get people scared. That's what they're going to do. It's a movie. And we also see this guy downstairs holding, like, this light, this lantern, and he's smiling. And you kind of can see a washing machine in the back. So I want to say, if not, you know, something with the Warren's house is definitely the Smurl's house, you know, and it has the washing machine. And I think that scene right there is where basically Lorraine Warren will see him, because eventually we see her running upstairs from a basement, that same type of light and color grading, like that orange light. So I think she's going to see him firsthand, and then, you know, he goes up, well, then she goes upstairs. But, you know, from previous Conjuring movies, Valak comes in different forms. We even saw in a Nun that she actually you know, possessed the guy Maurice, and we knew that was Valak because of the change of his eye color. So maybe that guy is, you know, Valak. It's just a different form of her, or it can just simply be a demon or a possessed person that's involved with the Smurl family. We see the end where Lorraine Warren basically sees one of the daughters in the corner, and it's like a hat tip to the exorcist. She runs to her on all fours, and before she runs to her on all fours, she says something along the lines of she's been waiting for them or something. But that scene was actually creepy. I think that a lot of stuff is going to be, you know, over exaggerated and stretched because that's how the Conjuring movies are. But for the main part of everything, from what I'm hearing with the Smurl story, it sounded like it was one of the scariest cases in my opinion, because we had the one with Bathsheba in the first one, then we had the Parent family in the second one, which the people say was a prank, and now we have the Smurl family. It has a movie also already done for it called The Haunted, and I think that this is going to be great having it in the same, you know, world as the Conjuring universe. And this is one of their cases that they took on that they actually had some problems with, from my knowledge. And we even see at a point, I don't think that's Lorraine Warren. I think it's one of the daughters for sure. It's definitely probably one of the daughters. But in the attic, we see somebody actually, you know, hanging, you know, and then eventually they fall through the attic. So it seems like the demon is going to be very dangerous to the point it's like knocking the attic floor down, and then she was probably standing on something, the person, and then once it knocks the attic floor down, you know it's game over if it's a rope up there. So it seems like this demon is going to be very dangerous for sure, from the chandelier from the attic falling in with the rope around the neck, and then we're seeing everything like a whole like exorcism go on with Patrick Wilson holding his hand out as Ed Warren, and it's like Lorraine Warren is behind him for protect. So it definitely sounds like it's going to get crazy with this. And even though they're saying it's going to be about the Smurl family, a part of me thinks it's going to be about Judy Warren also, because I want to say we see like a woman screaming like in a rearview mirror. I think that's actually a young Lorraine Warren, and it's showing her about to give birth to her daughter, but I can be wrong, or maybe someone from the Smurl family. But once I seen Lorraine Warren drop that locket in the blood, I definitely think it's showing like, yeah, she's trying to protect her daughter or something. And maybe that funeral, now that I think about it, is kind of showing, you know, Lorraine and Ed, like, this is a dangerous case. Your daughter's involved now. This might be how she ends up. Because we even see, like, once again, at that restaurant, the hand comes over the shoulder. So I think we're going to get, like, two parallel stories, like, where it's going down in the Warren's house, but also in the Smurl family, you know, house. Also, I think that Judy Warren's going to be in trouble. We're seeing her a lot through the trailer. We even see at a point she's looking through a mirror. I want to say that's Judy Warren. And she sees Annabelle rocking in a chair looking at her. So I think this is going to be one of the craziest Conjuring movies. I've heard people that already seen it saying it's the scariest. I know the previous one, Conjuring 3, didn't hit every beat, but I'm thinking this one can be the scariest. Like, go back to the old days with the first and the second one. And yeah, a lot of things will be over exaggerated, but it's for a movie. But I think Judy Warren's going to play a big part also, you know, and they're going to give us a lot of flashbacks, kind of getting us attached to this character being Judy Warren, knowing that she's the Warren's daughter, and we're going to kind of just live through Lorraine and Ed Warren, you know, with her having a daughter and him having a daughter, and then still taking on a Smurl family case. So overall, that's pretty much, you know, what you can take from this trailer, to be honest. They showed us a lot, but they also didn't. They kind of, it's a Conjuring trailer. They don't got to show us too much, and you never just know with a Conjuring movie, because a lot of things, once again, are over exaggerated. And the fact that we see Annabelle and Valak kind of crossing paths in this movie shows you anything can happen, because they didn't have no parts in the Smurl family hunting. So yeah, you all comment down below how you feel about this. Are you excited? I'm so excited. I am a die-hard Conjuring fan. As you see, Annabelle's back there chilling, and I'll do another video on this because I got another video I want to do that's actually interesting with this. So definitely comment down below. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out and watch some horror movies. With that being said, I will see you all in the next one. Peace.